God damn.
Star Wars, wizards, comics, and more. Cool and weird like never before. Grab a seat, we're blasting through. The galaxy awaits in Jack's room.
This is Rebel Talk Fire Pit Edition. It's lovely weather. It's cooled down a little bit. It's been a bit too hot to be out.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see, Jay's quite cold. He's rocking the hoodie.
Front end hoodie.
But we thought we'd take it outside today, down by the fire pit. This is where I love to sit in the summer when it's cool enough for me to go outside. We are going to cook after, but we thought whilst we're lighting the fire, kind of letting the embers die down to cook on, we'd just have a little chat. So, Jay's going to do the honours. Yeah. Not sure how much I trust Jay.
I've been excited to do this for the longest, so let's just. I don't know about your recommendation.
Just get in there. It's pretty dry, so it should like.
A few moments later.
Whew, that looks good. Woo. I think that's lit.
Well. Finally.
And we are tonight. We thought as well we would have a little bit of rum.
Yeah. Cheers. By the way.
Cheers, my brother.
Nice one.
It's coming over,
This
man.
is lovely.
Wow. I think the first thing we should just chat about is if you had to pick an all-time Disney.
An all-time Disney classic.
And let's
Favourite.
go 2D. Let's go
Okay.
like old, like our
So we're
childhood.
talking about classics.
Let's go
We're
our
talking about
childhood classics,
absolute
yeah.
classic.
And you got to say why.
Can you start this? Can you?
Yeah.
You seem like you've got one loaded. Let's
I
go.
mean, I've always got it loaded. Hercules for me.
Hercules.
Yeah.
Sick film. Okay.
I
Yeah.
adore that, and it's musically, I think it's phenomenal.
I mean, yeah, they've got the West End running now as well, of
Yes.
Hercules as well. So
I haven't heard great things.
no, but that's a whole different. That's a whole
Yeah.
different conversation. The West End is suffering in one sense, but yes.
I think as well the problem, partly when you do kind of the Western adaptations of these things, is the fans that go, they want to hear the original songs.
Well, this is the thing, and they often end up throwing in lots of other tracks.
I struggle with
No.
that. I know that they need to update things and I know that they need to modernise things. I get that, but there is an element of it. I'm like, just do the original. Just shut up and get on with it.
Yeah. I think most people that would attend a show like that have gone because, they feel the same way. They
Yeah.
feel like they want to hear what they remember, the nostalgia of it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with adding songs, but I think there's something wrong with subtracting what we know for something we don't know. Do you see
that
what
makes
I mean?
sense. Yeah,
You can add a few
but not
extras
subtract.
in, no problem, but don't remove the classic, because here's the thing. Although everybody's come for various different reasons, there's also people that have come for various different songs.
Yeah.
Songs have impacted people for very different reasons. So if I've come to hear my favourite song, which may not be, the number one song from that particular movie, I want to hear that. I don't want to hear you guys replace it with something else. So I think it's really important. If you can add, but let's not subtract.
Yeah, honour the source material.
Yeah.
And you can add to the source material.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think
absolutely.
that makes a lot of sense.
Also,
Yeah.
strangely enough, right, I had a conversation with a group of musicians actually just last week who all play in West End shows, and they've actually told me that the West, a lot of producers and a lot of, let's just say people that fund the actual shows are reducing the size of the band.
Okay.
Which means that the music you're hearing often is you get backing tracks as opposed to a live musician playing it, which of course you wouldn't hear in the original.
Of course,
Although
yeah.
it might be the original backing track, it's still not the live experience that
go
you've
to
gone
theatre
for.
the live experience. Of course
Exactly.
you do,
So
yeah.
if you're reducing the bands, all of a sudden now
it
the
must be so
soundtrack doesn't
hard.
feel good. Yeah.
And
yeah.
it must be such an undertaking to take something like Hercules or The Lion King, for example.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's
want to bring it to stage in a new way and make it relevant to now, but also honour the original. And I can't imagine the stress.
I mean, it's a lot. You've got
Right.
to tell this story of the original, but like you said, you've also got to make it seem fresh. It's the same thing that they experience with like the Harry Potters and other things that they bring to the West End at some point.
Funny enough, with The Lion King, I remember back in high school, a friend of mine, his name was Ryland Thompson. Ryland, I'll shout you out for this. I haven't seen him in years, Ryland, but I remember Ryland went missing for a while, and no one knew where he was. And it turned out he was in The Lion King, and he was the first UK Simba, like baby Simba.
Wow.
And really talented guy. Unfortunately, I haven't caught up with him for a while. I think I bumped into him just after COVID.
A lot of pressure.
Great singer, But I remember, yeah, he came back to school, and we were a boys' school, very kind of, like boisterous. Like you don't sing, you don't dance. It was that kind of school.
Yeah.
And Rylan was cool, man. And he came back, and we're like, where have you been? And yeah, he was Simba, and it was the first real run in the UK.
Wow.
And I actually didn't see The Lion King until I was 30 in the musical. In the
Oh
theatre.
right, yeah, okay. I was going to say. Otherwise,
Yeah, I mean, my dogs are Timon and Pumbaa.
I was going to say,
Obviously, I'm a fan.
You're a
of the
big
film,
fan, big fan.
But yeah, just a little tidbit.
It's interesting, It's interesting. I think obviously, as a whole, Disney has come a long way in many senses. I think also though, Disney are stuck, and I think they're stuck for new ideas. So let me just, for example, the question you asked me, I would probably say, and now obviously Disney, Pixar and Disney are the same thing. So Toy Story was probably one of my favorite 2D, the original anyway. So I suppose this new animation, Pixar
3D,
kind of
yeah.
crossed over. So Pixar crossed over, yeah. I would say that's probably one of my favorites. Actually,
phenomenal film.
strangely enough, The Lion King is actually one of my favorites, and I think it's because it's such a diverse cast.
Yeah.
And as you know, the crossover with James Earl Jones. Yeah, this man's
One
voice.
of the goats, man.
This man's voice, right?
Mufasa.
Clearly, Darth Vader to Mufasa.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
Crazy.
And that, the performances, and even like the diversity in like Whitney. What was her name? Whoopi Goldberg as one of the hyenas and things like that. So classic. I think they really ruined it with the second one, and I'll be honest. They often do that. Disney, I think they're not very good at delivering follow-ups.
I say, do you know the one good thing that came out of the second Lion King, and that is the song "He Lives in Me." Now, a lot of people seem to remember this song. They think it's in the first one. It's not.
It's not in the first
It's
one.
in the second one. It's the only really good part of the second one, and that's why they actually feature it in the theatre. And it's
Fair.
that it gives me
Fair.
goosebumps thinking about "He lives in me." Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing song, but they needed that off of the back of the first songs, Hakuna Matata, Circle of Life. Those are huge hits.
Here's my issue. Obviously, big fan again. My dogs are called Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata. They are saying to Simba, "Oh, you accidentally got your dad killed. Doesn't matter. It's cool. You left your pride.
It means
Who
no
cares?
worries.
It means no worries. Move on."
Yeah. Hakuna Matata. Imagine your dad's just died and you've been kicked out of the pride. Bro, doesn't matter.
cool.
Doesn't matter. It's fine.
Doesn't matter. No worries, man. There's a little bit of a sociopathic approach.
I like the
to life.
sentiment. Yeah, I mean, I like the sentiment of, look, you're going through something depressive. Just like let it go.
Yeah.
Like it's happened. Move on. I like that sentiment, but you're absolutely right. It's a
And
bit
the
like
funny thing is, Simba goes, "Oh, yeah, fuck him," and then just how long is he away to grow up? He just cracks on. He doesn't
fully
even
lived his
think
life,
about
yeah.
his pride until Nala accidentally takes him down.
I mean, yeah.
And that's got to be years on because he's now got a mane. He's grown.
He's having a good life, I suppose. Yeah, he's doing his thing.
He went, "Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Fuck him."
Yeah, he really did. He was like 3.5 minutes later, he was convinced.
He was like, yeah,
He
cool.
was like, do you know what? Yeah, Hakuna
He ate
Matata.
one grub
Let's
and
keep
forgot
it
about everyone.
He's like, this is delicious. Delicious. Imagine from his privileged position as well.
Oh, Prince, sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Tough life,
I'm only
Prince.
even zebra. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of get
And
why
antelope.
Scar was annoyed.
Yeah, I mean Scar was a whole
I mean, this little guy, he
persona.
didn't care, obviously. He left.
Uncle Scar.
Didn't even think about
it. Yeah, Uncle Scar. I mean, from the start though, this guy was clearly the villain. Do you know what I mean? From the off.
I mean,
from when you're named Scar.
What was his name? James?
Like, you've lived, let's just say he's about middle-aged. He's a middle-aged guy, yeah. Let's call him 40 years old. And your name after all of that time is the what? I mean, imagine how long it took you to get Scar.
The only skinny line in the pride.
That's
as well.
what I'm saying. You look malnourished, bro.
You got no calves.
You look malnourished. You look angry all the time. And think about how long it takes for a scar to actually happen. What happened was, I'm scarred, and now for the rest of your life, you're known as Scar. Disrespect, bro. From the off, he was disrespected. They should have known better. Do you know what I'm saying? They should have known better. But I feel like Disney are look. they're a very well-off company, and I think actually, to be honest with you, they've lost their way. And I say this on there's a couple of things which I support this with. You see online so often when they've reused animation, like actual clips, from like someone jumping over something, and they've just copied it. Yeah.
Is it the Jungle Book into what's the other one?
Like 3 other movies, bro.
Yeah, and it's like him jumping on a log, and it's the same as him jumping on a log.
It's the exact same animation, and it's like, okay, you've reused that, which is a bit dead.
I kind of understand back in the day because it's expensive.
I mean, I'm not disputing that, but I'm like, you lot are also making millions per film. Let's not forget the
the pennies
money
on that.
You're making money, so there's really no use to reuse stuff.
Yeah.
It says that you somewhat believe that your old stuff was better than what you can create as well.
Yeah.
So let's not try to stray too far away. I think it's an identity thing. It's like, cool, let's keep an identity about ourselves, which is okay. Familiarity, people see the same sort of thing without knowing it, settles them in. But then the second reason why I think they're kind of losing their way is because of all of these sort of follow-ups. So take, for example, Moana, the live action now. And they've done this with The Lion King, and they've done this with Aladdin. And it's like this need, they've done this with Lilo and Stitch. They're probably going to do it with most of their movies. But this need to kind of make animations real life, which don't do great in the box office, but end up kind of just giving them a bit of revenue and a bit of hype around a time where they've really got no new ideas. It's a bit disappointing. If you think about the new releases Disney have had over the years, really what they've done is they've just purchased other people's work.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there's an element of, it's the execs at the end of the day. It's the people at the top with the money that have to make these decisions, and they're unwilling to run a risk.
Yeah.
So they go, well, this did well, let's remake that, as opposed to trying new ideas. And unfortunately, I think a big part of the kind of what adds to this problem is the way that the movie industry works now. Like DVD and Blu-ray sales aren't a thing anymore.
No, not at all.
Streaming does not make the money that DVD and movies knew that even if they didn't make it a box office, they didn't make the money back then, they would make it back in DVD sales.
Yeah.
They're not making that now.
No.
So the what's the word? The want to run that risk is lower than it's ever been, because they know that, say they remake, they do a live action Hercules. They know that all of the original fans will go and see it, even if it's bad.
Yeah.
They will go and see it. It's like we talked about the last time with Marvel. Even if it's bad, we're still going to go see it because it's Marvel, and we've done that for a while.
We're invested.
We're now at the point where we're going, actually, now we're not.
Yeah.
But Disney is still, like, obviously Disney and Marvel, but Disney are still within an era where they can remake things, and regardless of the quality of it, people will go to see it because they want to see if it's any good.
For sure.
I think that whole shift in the movie industry must have contributed to that. The fact that there are no DVD sales, there's no post-cinema money there anymore.
No.
Even merchandise now just isn't a thing.
Not as much as it used to be.
Like, you look back at, take Star Wars, for example. I mean, George Lucas made his money on the merch.
Oh, yeah.
He sold his rights to the movies. He took nothing profit-wise on those films. He retained the merchandising rights.
Wow.
And it was in a period in which merchandise was so popular. We are from that era.
Absolutely.
Of toys and things like that.
A lot of shows, like we discuss, if we take like the Ninja Turtles, we discuss Biker Mice from Mars, Captain Planet, RoboCop. All of these shows were actually made because they made toys first.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then they went, you know what, we need to sell the toy, so let's make a show. They reverse engineered the process of actually selling you a product, you know what I mean? And then we got hooked on the show, and then the show's own success carried on from there.
Funny enough, you've just reminded me of something. This is a little bit of a tangent.
Bucky
I hope you don't
O'Hare,
mind.
by the way, sick.
Bucky O'Hare was great.
Classic.
A bit of a forgotten classic.
Yeah, forgotten for sure.
I recently, I haven't seen the film yet, Masters of the Universe, but I've been watching the Netflix He-Mans, and I watched the 2000s cartoon of He-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching it, and some of the powers of the heroes are pretty awful.
Yeah, questionable.
And I was watching it, and I was talking to someone else about this, and I was saying that they must have come up with the toys first, because the toys are kind of late 80s, early 90s, so the toys would have been bound by the tech of that time, right?
Yeah.
So like Mega Neck. He's just a guy whose neck goes up and down. Very easy toy.
Very easy.
The guy with the wings, very easy toy. Like,
Yeah.
it's all very easy toys. So I did a little bit of a deep dive into He-Man, and funny enough, Mattel actually did make the toys before the comics and the animation. And they did it to compete with the Star Wars merchandise. They saw that there was a market. They saw that Star Wars was doing well. So they came up with the toys. So the toys' powers are designed around the tech of that time. That's why the characters' powers are pretty lame. Like Mega Neck.
I mean,
there's the dude whose face spins around into three. He's like a robot and a man.
Yeah, it makes
and something
no
else.
sense, bro.
Yeah, but they were bound by the original Mattel toys.
That's so fascinating.
And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. I remember watching it thinking, the only reason someone would make Mega Neck is because they had to.
Well,
Like-
yeah, you're like, listen, this
Yeah.
printer won't do anything more than actually just extend this
Yeah.
this guy's
Yeah.
neck. So
And
let's
I
just.
thought that was fascinating. But yeah, anyway, a bit of a tangent there, but that was something just the other day watching, and I'm really enjoying rewatching He-Man. I do need to watch the
I mean,
film.
these are classics, and yeah, the film is
Yeah.
actually. I think actually, interestingly enough, I don't think the film doesn't feel like it's a blockbuster sensation, but what it does feel like is that they actually were very true to the original TV
Oh, that's good to
series
hear.
and stuff, you know. So
That's really good to
although it's kind of it compensates a bit of like adult, like that makes sense to me for just like, do you know what, we're sticking with
Yeah,
what you lot grew up with watching, so we'll keep it there. And I think
That's good to hear.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good overall, you know. So yeah, I mean, one of the other things I would just mention though, I think, is that you know, a company like Disney, for example, they also have a lot of money where they're just prepared to throw it away. You know, so they don't. I think because, for example, Disney makes so much money from like their parks and other products that their films aren't even their biggest revenue stream.
But this is the thing I find quite mad. Like, they are the kind of companies that can throw money at things.
And that's my point. It doesn't need
But
to
they
make
also
money back.
don't take many risks.
No.
So it kind of doesn't even out. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I
Given
don't
that you
understand,
Could, yeah,
like-
I suppose I think that it's like they're trying to protect their IP.
yeah.
And not branch out too left or right from
Yeah.
that in order to, you know, sustain its future, which is like the least risky behaviour. But then it's like, but yeah, we're still prepared to throw money away, essentially, on just
Yeah.
repeating projects we've done.
I tell you what, there are some projects I've seen in
It's
the
like
last
Apple.
year. Yeah.
They can't
yeah,
reinvent
100%.
themselves.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, we're kind of stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are a couple of projects, like honourable mentions, that I would throw in there that I don't know if you've seen, but Elios,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
One of those films that I think went under the radar. The other one, and actually, do you know what? I would put it up in my top 5 Pixar films, is Hoppers. Came up early this year. Or end of
Seen
last
that?
year.
Yeah. What's
Gone
that
with the Beavers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was touching.
Yeah.
I thoroughly
concept.
enjoyed that film.
Yeah. Good
Thoroughly
concept
enjoyed it.
overall. Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, what I think is very telling is the films that go under the radar generally are the new ideas. And they're the ones that
Yes.
actually, when you really watch them, are better. They're the ones that don't get
They don't get
the publicity and the marketing budget, I suppose, like The Lion King 2, Mufasa, prequel, whatever, got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
But do you know what it is as well? Partly is because when they remake, if you take some of the classics that they've remade, what they actually do as Disney is they insist on using like super famous actors or or you know, just to fill those roles. So you know, you take The Rock in Moana, you take Will Smith in Aladdin, you take Beyonce and you know, Childish Gambino in The Lion King, and it's like we have to put someone else's name to this, and yet, like you've described, Hoppers, don't get me wrong, I know they've still got a really good and famous cast. They're not lent on in the same way that they do their remakes, and I think that's partly why, again, they're just not spending the same money on it. They're ticking the box of saying, right, let's just see if this is something. Again, sales will tell you, if you get enough tickets, you'll be like, right, we're doing Hoppers too. Wicked, no problem.
Although I must say, I know obviously Will Smith has faced a lot of controversy over the last few years.
Yeah.
And they do throw a big star at a remake, like you said, Beyonce, Gambino from The Lion King, and The Rock, and Moana, things like that. But filling the genie's boots in Aladdin, that was a big thing to do.
I mean, for sure.
And I think anybody that went into that role was going to face, not backlash, but face a lot of resistance. Robin Williams is the genie. The genie is Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And I think Will Smith was the best choice casting for that role because he's funny, he's wacky, but he's so different from Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But he's big enough to fill it.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm not necessarily a fan of the film. I think it's fine. Like, I enjoyed it, but I think that was probably the smartest choice of anyone they could have made.
Yeah,
of a modern era.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think a lot of the time, like you look at the Lion King, like Beyonce's Nala, where they shoehorned in that song that she did. And it was fully shoehorned in.
This is part of the
so
agreement they sign with an artist like that, though. I must have one of my own on the soundtrack in order to make profit.
And this goes back to what we were saying at the start, like about adding but not subtracting. But that did not need to be added.
No.
It was a very unnecessary song. Do you know what? So I can't even remember what the words were.
No. I mean, I'm totally with you.
I think Gambino was a great choice for Simba, and what I liked with him is he didn't do anything outside of what Simba did. So that's fine. Whereas that song, like you say, it was a contract.
Yeah. By the time you're adding, one of, if not the biggest, female artist of, the last century, 20 years, if you like, sorry, to the, part of the contract for sure.
Interestingly, so Hercules being my favourite Disney film as a kid, I always imagined with the live action, I don't know if you remember much about the original film, but they had the three muses that were on the vases. Yeah. And they did the Zero to Hero. I mean, there was great characters. Obviously, we're well past the time in which they could do this, but the three muses, my dream casting 20 years ago for a live action was Destiny's Child. That, as far as pop culture goes, imagine. Imagine.
I don't think they were thinking along the same sort of lines as today's producers and directors are in that regard, but imagine that
they would have been great.
And at that point, add as many songs as you want.
I know that we have had a sort of Hercules. We had the Rock's Hercules.
Yeah.
And he was just cast because he was big.
That was
It wasn't Hercules at all.
No, not at all.
Like you got is he Maori
adaptation?
Is he Samoan?
Maui, he's Samoan.
Maui,
that's right.
He was not a Greek god son, but.
No. Again, The Rock has had, on that note, he's had some very interesting movies, given how famous this man actually is. Yeah. A lot of his films, are kind of like that sort of level, and it's, his fame has come from other places, I think. But let's talk about, because you've shown me this character, right? I've just seen this today. What's his name?
It's. I almost feel bad saying this.
Captain Grape.
You're not far off.
From what I've seen, bro, come on.
So Disney, as well-intentioned as this may be, Disney have introduced to the kind of the children's kind of Disney Plus market a new superhero, and they called him. Well, he's Captain Do-Rag. He's a black superhero on the Disney Channel, and
of course he is.
Yeah. And we're going to put a picture up of Captain Do-Rag. I guess it's well-intentioned. I guess.
Does it sound well-intentioned?
I don't know. It sounds
Captain Do-Rag.
It sounds pretty warped. Pretty warped, doesn't it? Yeah.
You missed him by Captain Fried Chicken. It was this close. Captain Do-Rag, Captain Fried Chicken, Captain.
His sidekick is a chicken.
Captain Supermalt.
His sidekick is a chicken.
This is what I'm
it
saying,
is.
Bro.
He doesn't have a sidekick. He has a side chicken.
Well intentioned is it's a thin line.
And it's even his superhero costume. They made it the purple grape drink.
Yeah, that was the most offensive thing I've seen. So this guy is wearing a black do-rag and a purple grape drink. Basically,
I mean, they hit the stereotypes, and I kind of understand. You want to almost reclaim the stereotype and make it.
Yeah, but the problem here is that who's reclaiming it?
I'm trying to defend it. It's not.
The thing is that here's the thing. I totally understand what you're saying, right? If for example, let's just put out an example. This is a boardroom of black executives. Yeah. Yeah. We're reclaiming it. Bit of a weird way to reclaim it, but cool. If that's you.
But
we both know it's not, and that's kind of the problem here. It's I think if I'm honest with you, it's not even offensive as much as it is kind of obvious that perhaps a company is going for something very controversial in order to create these types of conversations.
I mean, it could be, yeah.
Then
I mean,
it is sensible, because
are
it's like
they
there's
trying to-
no way, like, you as a company, with all of your check
Someone has
boxes
to
of
have been in the
diversity,
room and
this
gone,
is what I'm
"Guys."
saying. Well,
someone, you think?
and if someone wasn't, and I think that's what this shows, if the someone, here's the problem, who you put in the room is important, because if you
course,
put, it doesn't matter your race or creed, yeah, if you're a yes man or a yes woman, that's what you are. So, you know, this person, whoever they were, if they've got these so-called diversity checks in place, this person is not doing what this person should be doing. Personally, I'm not offended. It's not to say other people wouldn't be offended by it, and obviously there is a backlash. Disney are going to have to, if it's not just conversation and, like I said, controversy for the sake of it, then it's backlash.
Which I hope it's not.
I mean, look, money's got to be made, and money's made over conversations.
And it made us have this conversation, right? So maybe that is why. Yeah.
Also, let's be honest, right? Whilst you and I will have this conversation, there's lots of people that wouldn't even think twice that that's just what this superhero is called, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
My problem really, and it's not a really big one, but my problem really is that it's kind of just reinforcing a stereotype. Which is what we do in this world, but that's kind of the cat. It's like you're reinforcing a stereotype, and when we discuss, you know, you and I love superheroes. So when we talk about this universe of creating someone with strength and someone that's, you know, other people aspire to be, you called him Captain Durag. Like, that is the laziest naming of a superhero captain. I can't even. Like Captain anything is a bit.
I mean, Captain America, at least encapsulates an entire nation. It's
but here's the thing:
pride
since Captain America, you can't really be just naming superheroes Captain anything. It's done.
You're reducing.
Yeah,
you're reducing everything,
it's already a
aren't
bit
you?
copy. Captain what? Captain name of no, just okay. Okay, you've used Captain, but then you've gone Durag. You like that was.
Like imagine, and this might get me cancelled, to be fair.
Come on.
But imagine they had like they made a Chinese superhero, and they called him Captain Kung Pao.
Or Captain what? They won't get cancelled for it. They're big enough to survive.
I might cut that bit out.
I mean, but it is what it is. If your superpowers literally are like, I'm trying to think of another, like, let's think about it. Like, you've got, you know, did you ever watch Black Adam?
Yes.
Right? So there's a superhero, Pierce Brosnan plays this character, where his
Yeah.
helmet
The gold.
essentially creates the power, right?
Yeah.
So if you're now
What's his
stating
name
that,
in it? I can't remember now.
was it Doctor something or not?
Yeah, no, it was Doctor. Not Fantastic. It was something.
No,
Doctor Fortune. Doctor.
something like that, Fortune or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
We'll put it up.
yeah.
Whatever it is when we fact check this.
But
after.
that character, okay, you could argue his powers kind of emanate from the helmet, right? To some extent. So if this Captain
Does it come-
Durag's powers are emanating from the Durag,
Yeah.
call him Captain Durag.
Also, the name Captain Durag doesn't give you any description of what his power is.
It just says this guy wears a Durag.
He could be a speedster. He could fly. He could go invisible.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
he could be anything.
And also, where is the uniqueness in that? It's like,
yeah, there's nothing that
so you're
gives you a
let's
description.
just say that this guy is like patrolling Atlanta, which has like a really high population of black people, right? Lots of people wearing durags. What now makes you special?
He rocks up and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, you guys have got this."
Literally, like, do you know what? As it stands, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
you guys got this covered.
Yeah, there is no descriptor there.
It doesn't
of
work
what
for
his
me.
powers are.
No, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't. It just doesn't work for me.
And it's
Problematic.
yeah. I think that's the right word to choose.
Disney.
It's
Do
the
you know
right
what I
word
mean?
to choose.
It's a bit problematic.
And I think we are in a world where people are trying to be more diverse, and people are trying to make sure that
Yes.
they're doing the right thing, and they're getting the representation that is necessary. And
Absolutely.
you know, it brings me to an example. It's a slightly older film with The Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if you remember that film.
Classic. Love it.
Not a bad film. And
I
I love the
quite
original
enjoyed
anime.
it. Yeah,
I quite enjoyed the film.
quite enjoyed
I don't know if you remember the backlash they first faced, because in the original trailer, they CGI'd Scarlett Johansson's eyes to look more Asian.
Right.
It upset a lot of people.
Wow.
Understandably.
I mean, yeah, of course.
And they then obviously removed that. But I do understand that, you know, that we want to be an inclusive world, and I think execs with money just don't know how to do that. right. And I think this is a perfect example. I don't know much about Captain Durag other than the backlash and that he looks like purple grape drink.
This is what I think.
He looks like something that Lil Wayne would sip.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair though, the irony is that it just actually highlights the lack of diversity, and not because it's just really obviously a really rubbish way of forming a superhero, but it's like the lack of diversity is that the fact that your efforts are so far off from what you're trying to achieve. If it really is authentically inclusivity and diversity, then this attempt really just highlights how far from that you actually are as a company.
And I think, and I don't know if this is obviously just based on my personal experience. Like diversity, it should never be forced.
It can't be.
Like just like, I mean, if you look at our friendship, for example, like we've always been friends. Our race has never been any part of that friendship.
No.
But I also do understand that we do have different perspectives.
Of course, yeah.
And I love that we have different perspectives. And I'll often ask you, like I did earlier before we even started the podcast, like, are you comfortable with me bringing this up?
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we do have those different perspectives. We are different people. We do come from different places. And I think that's what needs to be celebrated, not forcing something like Captain Durag. It's like, but also what I don't understand is why anybody in that room thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, because it's like, look, if we were to say that, obviously Captain Durag's a black character, so what I'm not saying is that you've written about a black character, it needs to be a black person that's created the character. That's ridiculous. Anyone could create a character of any race, no problems, right? No problems. It's just the again, if we look at the outfit, if we look at the naming of the character, to be honest with you, it's just insensitive to some people, and that to me is what spells out the fact that you're not hitting diversity at all, because if you actually had diversity in the room, you would hear some people say it's a bit insensitive.
Because I mean, I don't know, I can't 100% guarantee it, but I would be quite happy to put money on it being a white person or someone not black making that character name up.
That's my point. And
I can't imagine a black person in the room going, this is a good idea.
I think that's the
I've come up
point.
with this.
Even if there were, you haven't checked far and wide enough. It's still not a diverse enough. This is
It's
the
just
thing.
a do-rag.
And here's the
it's
thing.
It's a piece of cloth.
Diversity.
It's culturally relevant, but it's not culturally
it's
identifying.
like the starting point of relevant. Do you know what I mean? It's like
come on.
It's lazily relevant. It's not we're trying to figure out a new superhero. It's just actually, look, you call a character Captain Durag and you're already asking for trouble.
I mean,
I didn't need to see what he looked like.
If you had a female Indian superhero and you called her Super Sari, like, it's the same kind of thing, right? It's like, yeah, Indians wear saris.
Yeah.
It's not their entire identity.
It's far
Don't
from
come
their
up with Super Sari. And I guarantee you an Indian in the room wouldn't go, yeah, I've come up with this idea. Super Sari's the one. Like, it's just not.
But that's my point.
It's not a great idea. Like,
you're just picking up on a really kind of like abstract element of.
Yeah, it's one part. Of a culture.
And not even like a part that necessarily covers the entire culture. So you know what I mean. It's not every single black person wears a do-rag. That's ridiculous. So for you to kind of put again, and this character's not necessarily supposed to represent everyone.
No, if they really wanted to represent black people, they would have called him Captain Jordans.
I mean, yeah, that does it. Yeah, Captain Jordan.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. As I'm sat here with some Jordans on as well. I'm so sorry.
As am I, as it goes.
Are you actually wearing Jordans?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, sweet.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Captain Jordan. Well, but this is my point. It's like, if you actually have diversity in the room, then you probably wouldn't name your character anywhere near as controversial.
It's a difficult one to talk about. It's not a difficult one to talk about, actually. No, I don't mean that. It's a difficult one to talk about and not offend people and not worry about offending people.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, Andy Serkis is a great example recently of he said something that has upset a lot of people, and I can understand it. He was approached by some reporters about the lack of diversity in the new Hunt for the Gollum casting for The Lord of the Rings. And now, as far as I'm aware, that's set between Fellowship and the Two Towers. His response effectively was, I'm not interested in having this conversation. I'm not hiring to tick a box. Now, what he hasn't said is, I won't hire a black person, or I won't hire a white person, or I won't hire this, or I won't hire that. He's just said, I'm not interested in having a conversation about hiring to tick a box. Yeah, maybe he needed some media training on that, potentially. I do also appreciate someone just being honest about their opinion in the media world, because it doesn't happen that much these days.
No.
And I don't want media trained all the damn time.
No. Listen, don't be politically correct over something that you...
Even if what he said is wrong. It's his opinion, and he said what he said. And it's like...
Yeah.
And also, disagree with it all you like. Have your opinion. If you don't like that, if that's upset you, yes, have your say.
Yeah.
I don't like this cancel culture of no one goes to see the film, no one do this, no one support it.
No.
But then I do also think with something like Lord of the Rings and The Hunt for the Gollum, he is creating a film, he's directing and starring in a movie set within the parameters of a trilogy, arguably one of the biggest trilogies ever made, by Peter Jackson. And Peter Jackson created that trilogy of films with his view. Yeah. Now, there is a lot within The Lord of the Rings that does state, for example, the hobbits were brown. There's a lot of ethnic diversity within Tolkien's version.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson's version, not so much. That was his interpretation. That he read those books, saw it his way, and that's what he made. And they're great films. Yeah, they're not the most ethnically diverse. They aren't.
No.
But that's what he made. They are very good films.
Yeah.
They're very good films. Whether or not Peter Jackson made that choice consciously or not, I can't speak for him. Andy Serkis is making a film set between two Peter Jackson films. So from a continuity perspective, he is creating a film that needs a casting that fits that aesthetic. So yeah, maybe all the elves are white.
Yeah.
They were all white in the original trilogy. And however you feel about that. And obviously, I think yes. If you could go back in time, you'd want Peter Jackson to be more diverse. But that's how we made them.
For sure.
So Serkis is making a film that, continuity-wise and aesthetically, fits within Jackson's view.
Yeah.
If you then watch The Rings of Power, I don't know if you've seen The Rings of Power.
I have. Yeah.
Phenomenal series. I actually loved it. It's based on
very diverse cast compared to
huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
compared to the Lord of the Rings.
For a fantasy series in general, it's very diverse.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's great, and that's set 100 years or 1,000 years, whatever it is, before Peter Jackson's films.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good. I love the diversity of that. Mm-hmm. If Serkis really wants to stick to the aesthetic of those films, that's why he's made the choice of keeping it that way. I don't know. He might not have. We might watch it, and it's an entirely Filipino cast.
Well,
we just don't know.
It's hard to judge right there. Yeah. I mean, obviously, what you can say is that people can obviously clearly see who he has cast for some of the most of the lead roles. It's not to say that you can't have supporting cast who are more diverse.
But if you're going to recast Aragorn,
well, no, you can't. You can't recast people. I mean, here's the thing: you absolutely can.
Of course you can.
There's nothing wrong with it, but also it's just like it unfortunately does create this kind of continuity with characters and things like that. And I totally agree with that sentiment.
This is where the difference, though. So, for example, the backlash of Snape in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter thing is a complete reboot.
Yeah.
So this is all new cast,
Absolutely.
all new people, all new retelling, all new reimagination. So you can cast whoever you want. You might not get the response you want, but you can, because it is a complete retelling.
Yeah.
Serkis's Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, is set within a universe that already exists, and it is supposed to fit within those films. So he aesthetically, ethnically, whatever you want to call it, he's trying to match that, I assume.
I agree. I mean, look, here's the thing, is that you can obviously... You're writing a new film, right? Whether it be between whatever, you're still writing a very new script. right? And you're telling a story that is still made up,
Of course.
right? It's not a historical story. This is totally fantasy. So in that respect, it's like you can do what you want. You can argue that I'm sticking to all the rules and I'm doing, you know, I'm adhering to what has come before and what will go after. But there is also like room for, okay, but what are you doing to diversify?
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Do I think it's worth diversifying for the sake of diversity? Which is essentially the
That's a
question.
different conversation.
Which is what is kind of coming up here. It's just like, look, we need to diverse everything, and I'm not in disagreement with it in many senses. It's like, look, if you keep everything the same forever, then you're not actually creating new opportunity. You're not creating new films, and what we end up actually with is like a form of segregation where you get black films and you get white films, and a few that kind of cross over between, you know, like we've discussed with lots of different ethnicities cast, and that's always wonderful to see. The thing about it though is that realistically stories are told, and you're entitled to tell the story you want. I mean, I think if I may go deep for 1 second, the issue isn't necessarily this Hollywood guy who's been given an opportunity to create the new installment of a film. It's a case of we need to diversify who's given opportunities to create.
Yeah.
That as well needs diversification. You can't just expect, okay, we're telling a story about England in the 1600s. Bro, there was a certain type of person living here at that time. You can't now just be like, yeah, cool, bring in whoever you want and we'll just give them a role. It just wouldn't work, and I think that's the challenge. It's like someone who takes their role so seriously as a director is going, right, I'm creating this world, I'm creating this feel, and it's just like, do I need to because of human history as well, there's this certain thing which like, do I need to interrupt this with, how is this black guy present in the middle of all of these white people and he's not experiencing any racial issues?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's fantasy, so you may not have to touch that at all, but we're looking at the history. We all watch things from a human perspective, and then we go fantasy. But it's like there's a lot of storytelling that you also need to tell in that to some extent that maybe they just don't have time to tell.
Yeah,
it's like, because again, how is it? You know, if we look at the diversity in that sense, like how is it that this person is here amongst all of these British speaking? Now, it's not to say there wouldn't have been people available. Yeah, you're going to have maybe one or two ethnic casts in there who were just in the region at the time, or someone that they passed by on their way to wherever they're going. I don't doubt that there'd be one or two representations, but yeah, I mean, I don't think the problem is necessarily we must make every film feel diverse. That feels to me like you're not telling an authentic story at certain times.
Interestingly, it brings me on to a series of books written by Robert Jordan, The Wheel of Time. And this is my favourite fantasy series.
Seen that on Amazon as well.
Yeah, they did the show on Prime. There are, I believe there's 14 books, one prequel, 13 main storyline books. I read them kind of as they were coming out as a teen. A big part of my life from a literature perspective. I absolutely adored them. And then they did the series. Now the series, in its own right, is very good. They faced a lot of backlash with the diversity of the cast at the time.
As in too diverse or not diverse enough?
Too diverse to the fans, I guess. Okay. I'm personally not saying it's too diverse. What I am saying is they missed a trick. Where in the books, it starts off in a village. The village is untouched by the outside world for 1,000 years. So, ethnically, everyone would be within the same ethnicity. There's one character, Rand al'Thor, the main character, who looks different. And a big part of the story is him not understanding why he looks different. And it's a big part of it. It's him constantly going, this is my home, but there's something's not right here. Like, I don't look like everyone else. Then as the books go on, they have this massive journey, these teens from this village. There's like 4 or 5 of them, and they travel throughout this world. And they meet these different peoples of different ethnicities that they've never seen before, never dreamed of, never thought there could be a black person, never thought there could be someone that looked Chinese, never thought they'd ever meet anyone outside of what looks like them. And it's this world of discovery within that story that made it so rich. And that in itself, I thought was such a beautiful thing because it showed how the world would have been at one point.
Yeah.
And I loved that element of the story, and as it went on, more and more people kind of got added to the main group on the quest of you know to the end of it. And then in the series, every single cast member of these teens, every single one was a different ethnicity. And you know what? I mean, it's fine. It didn't detract from I thought the series was really good, but it also showed me that the people that were making it hadn't read the books. They hadn't understood the broader scope of discovery within that story.
Yeah.
And that is a part of our history, discovering other people.
Absolutely.
And discovering people that didn't look like us. And being
Yeah.
like, oh shit, that person doesn't look like me.
Yeah.
And wanting to learn about them. And wanting to understand them. And wanting to bring them into that community. And and kind of meld communities. And I think that series is the perfect example of a series that, whilst well-intentioned, didn't understand the broader story. And that story actually had a huge footing in the discovery of people that aren't like you.
Yeah.
And I think whilst we try to diversify, and obviously it's a good thing, we often forget that we are different.
Yeah.
And that discovering those
And that's
differences
okay.
brings us together
Absolutely.
as well.
But that's like you said, that's the rich tapestry of humanity, isn't it? It's like, look, you bring your culture to the table, I'll bring my culture to the table, and actually we should be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, that mixing pot, and
that's the thing.
Yeah.
But I think, to be honest with you, if I can summarise, I think partly what happens here, and obviously historically over time, Hollywood has had the habit of just casting really famous white leads in roles which are not, as we know, historically white. You know, we can take a lot of the films that they do, for example, in Asian, and I'm not against it because I love a lot of these movies, but principally speaking, a lot of look, if I summarize this, just think about this. We talk about Star Wars. We love Star Wars. How many planets and things are there in Star Wars? And yet every single one of them has an American accent and speaks English.
Why, dude?
And for those that don't, they do a quick.
Lando's out there representing.
Translate. Yeah.
Lando's out there representing. But other than that,
but that's my principle.
Yeah,
it's like, look, when you're trying to tell a story, and for Hollywood, it's in America. You're gonna cast Americans. It's like that's just what's happened, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's brought us so much joy over the years, but it's still continued, and it's like you just have to accept the fact that this is what it is. When they're telling stories about ancient Greece, like the Odyssey right now, these are white people, and in ancient Greece, these people would have had far more tanned brown skin, but that's not. We can't. But again, can we? Of course we can go and employ Greek actual actors, but then the box office goes, we're trying to make money. We need fame, we need names and faces that. And so this is what
you're not going to hire some next Greek guy over Matt Damon.
You're not. Is that a problem? Like, if we're in honesty, yes, it is, because why shouldn't you hire the real Greek person to go and fill that role?
We need to progress, but we also need to understand that it is a business,
and we also understand what the fame game is. Of course, right? If you're creating a movie, you've spent a lot of money.
Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Tom Holland.
This is an expensive cast, and you've done that because you need to bring a lot of ticket sales in. It's like putting together a boy band. You get all of these characters who one person follows that one person, but they're part of this big group, and that's why this will probably be an amazing box. You'll probably see the box office go off on this one. Do you know what I mean? Because of that,
and I think that should be our next outing.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. Let's absolutely do that.
And I think, we need to progress, but we need to understand that, it's not always ill-intentioned.
No, I don't feel it is.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel it is. Look, the fact of the matter is that there's people who have reached these positions. I mean, think about it. You've just become a new executive, a new producer, and they're not just the same people that were making films 50 years ago. They're new people all the time. You've just become it. You feel that you've got an opportunity. You don't want to stray too far from what's come before you. like, I'm not hating on people that can't go outside of the box and just go, right, we're recasting and we're doing this. There's nothing wrong with it. I think what needs to happen is these types of conversations.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
just it. Like, and obviously, I would love these types of conversations to be happening in Hollywood with the producers. They aren't, but they've sparked this between you and I. And I think that's how we really see actual change. It's twofold. Yes, there can absolutely be more diversity in casting, but casting is one level of movies, right? We see like producers like we see Jordan Peele, and we see the guy, forgive me, the guy that's made Black Panther.
Oh gosh, yes. Jordan. Oh gosh. Michael B. Jordan's mate.
Yes.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
That black guy.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the point is
gonna
that,
cut that.
again, with more diversity in Hollywood, in general, we will see more diversity in the movies that we see. It's not just a casting agent's responsibility or a director's responsibility to make sure we've got a new brown or yellow or black or white face in the film.
And also,
not at all.
Yeah, I think as well, allowing people to be wrong.
Well, this is it, man. 2 points I want to raise, which doesn't always lead to good results, in my opinion. And I'm not, again, I think one is lesser and the other is more obvious. So, for example, we look at the Fantastic Four remake. Not the most newest one, the one prior, still Fox. Michael B. Jordan was cast as Johnny Flame.
I actually thought it was a great Johnny
And
Flame.
I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I
thought it was
think if
great,
you're going to diversify a cast...
Apart from that weird
no one's-
Mr. Fantastic suit with the springs.
Yeah, I mean...
That was a bit odd.
That was a bit strange. But in terms of, like, diversifying your cast, nothing wrong with it. Like, it's just kind of like, Johnny Flame has never necessarily been... Don't get me wrong, in my opinion, always been a white cast. But it didn't feel like, oh, this is terrible, you should have made a different decision, right? I caveat that with Captain America. You guys trying to cast a black Captain America. I'm not against it. Falcon, Captain America, no problem. I'm not against that. But I just feel like when you, like we've said, if you force things, it's just unnecessary. Here's my point on that. And this is the point I want to settle on. It's not about changing characters we already know. Would I love to see, for example, just one film where the Superman's black? Yeah, that'd be cool. And what that would do to the next generation of young black kids growing up going, oh, my favourite superhero is black, wonderful. But it's like, let's just diversify from the ground up. Why aren't there more black superheroes? Why have you got to change ones that are already white? That's fine. It's like
more.
Yeah, it's like what Hollywood did to Jesus.
Yep.
Right, let's be very, very clear. Jesus was a Jew. Jews grew up in a region where you are brown-skinned.
Yeah.
You're not blonde and blue-eyed, bro. That's just that. And so don't try to take an existing person profile and change it. Just create someone new.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's similar to the argument with James Bond about making a female Bond. We don't need a female Bond. A new female agent within MI6, within that world, fantastic idea.
You see Ballerina.
Oh, yeah. Great.
You don't go, oh, John Wick's now a woman, and
No, it's a new character within the universe.
You keep the
Fantastic,
universe.
yeah.
You even include John Wick in the movie to kind of add the authenticity
Yeah, and
to
you
it.
can have Bond show up, or you can not have Bond show up. Well, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
You have the MI6 world. You create a new character.
Yeah.
And there are. I mean, we live in.
Why not
in a world-
006 for goodness sake?
Yeah, 008. You've got women.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, 0012. They're
Doesn't freaking
twice
matter,
as bad.
bruv. Do you know what I'm
But,
saying? But just
Yeah, you can make a new character. It doesn't have to be this rehash. And it's what we were talking about earlier about Hollywood, Disney, these big execs not wanting to take risk.
yeah, it's absolutely that. The IP is valuable. I know if you say James Bond, hundreds of thousands of people are going to the cinema.
We don't need a Janet Bond.
No, but that's the problem.
Character.
Exactly. That's my point.
Because they did have 007 in the last Daniel Craig when they had that female actress, the black actress.
And I'm not against that. That's wonderful. Wonderful inclusion. To many
Unfortunately, they
senses.
didn't write it well.
It wasn't.
No.
They rush these things.
Yeah,
and it
they
comes
didn't
out
write it well.
a
And
political.
she was a phenomenal actress, great, and she is a phenomenal actress, but they didn't write that well. And it's
No.
like, well, okay,
I think again, good. Just cool. Nothing wrong with it. But I
Yeah.
think we agree on. Let's just. What is hard let's be obvious. If I tell you right now, whoever I am, Disney, doesn't matter, Captain freaking Durag, I've created a new character. It's hard to get this person off the ground, right? It's hard to get the IP of Superman or Batman or Captain America. You're not going to get that overnight. Invincible has done very, very well. As of like, if you consider 3 years ago, didn't really come across more than a comic book. Now, a lot of people know it's done very, very well. But most don't do that. So I appreciate it's not just easy to launch these things, but that's also the point. Whether it's not about ease. Stan Lee didn't have ease creating the X-Men in that time in history in which he created the X-Men. This is not about ease, and yet somehow the model of a lot of Hollywood and a lot of the production houses we've discussed today is kind of like, let's go the easy route, maybe then diversify at that point, and at best add a few new songs.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, it just feels like you and I, again, in a year where there's very little films to go and watch, we'll go and watch it.
Yeah.
No problem. But it just doesn't feel like we're getting some of the, I think the 80s were the best era for this new stuff, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think we've gotten much since then, and since again the Avengers lead up to the, their last Avengers movie we had.
I mean, I think ultimately, I think the thing that I'm really waiting for is I really, really want to see a white man play Bruce Lee. That would just make me happy.
Give it time. Give it time. Probably in development as we speak, bruv. Give it time. Listen, they cast Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai, bruv. This is what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. That film. I mean, it's White Savior.
Here's the thing. It's an amazing film.
White Savior.
I've got nothing.
I know
wrong,
it's White
but
Savior.
that's my point.
Oh
it's
my
like
goodness.
that's Hollywood to the T. It's kind of like you lot actually went. Yeah, guess who saved the day again? And that's kind of the
It's
thing.
like Keanu Reeves in the 47 Ronin.
It's exactly.
It's white man saves Asians.
It's
every time.
exactly the same. It's kind of like this principle.
Let's be honest though. I mean, like, we are just better at things.
I mean, it's if Hollywood has anything to do with it, flipping heck, absolutely.
I've said so many things that out of context.
Mate, you're getting cancelled after this. Do you know what I'm saying? But you can tell people you've got a black mate called Jay. That gets you off of a few troubles, bruv. You know what I'm saying?
On that racist note.
But it's good to talk and it's good to discuss these things.
I think it is, and it's important.
You know what I mean?
It's we're so divided right now.
Yeah.
But we are divided by the
troubling
people that
time.
want us divided.
Absolutely. And I think that's a lot of background noise. I don't think everyone actually, I don't walk through society feeling necessarily divided, but if you keep reading the headlines, you keep reading these types of things.
Although, I tell you one thing I'm massively intolerant of. A Jamaican kitchen, jerk chicken, and they just chop the bones into it. I am sorry.
I mean,
what are you doing? No.
Anyways.
Captain Durag, he's the one to look out for this summer.
He's the one to look out for this summer, apparently. Yeah.
Disney, what are you doing, man?
What's going on here, Disney? What's going on?
My bro.
Always
a pleasure.
Cheers. Appreciate it. Let's get some sausages on.
Let's cook.